Hello, and welcome to the current episode of the Monkey Nerd Punch podcast. And with me, as always, on these podcasts is Nigel. Hello, Nigel.
Hello, people.
And my person is supposed to be my co-host, Keith. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Same with Nigel. We'll get there. We'll get there. Just a bit of patience, you know.
1 week, this might just work.
Well, it works. The thing is, it works my end, and I just want to be able to extend that to you.
It's okay. I can see the chat, but as myself.
Right. Okay. So just a quick one. Hello, Duncan from sunny Turkey. And hello, Bilfer.
It's good. It's good to see Duncan's got fuck all else to do. He's listening to us from Turkey. It's really, really good.
I was probably sitting there lounging, slowly getting drunk in the
Nice,
warm
cool
sun.
Beer.
Coming that lovely lobster red.
Oh, he is.
He's watching us.
You know, Turkey's not renowned for its television, is it?
Well, yeah, no, there's no football on at the moment, so.
Oh, yeah, there's no football on either.
Yeah, nothing to do really.
Go,
sit next to the pool or the beach with a nice cold beer, listening to our dulcet tones. What else could you want, really?
Oh, he's having a coffee. He's waking himself up. Anyway.
Oh, an espresso. Nice. Good choice.
Probably back in his hotel room using the facilities. So, this week we'll be talking about the last episode of The Boys, the last episodes of Stranger Things, and the recent episode of Orville. And if you guys got anything else you want to bring in, yeah. So it looks like Duncan's only got BBC News to watch. So.
I saw Thor yesterday, Gareth. Guess what? Everything's gay.
Okay.
Oh, mate.
Oh, dear.
Mate. Right, so I'll briefly go through it. Literally 2 seconds, right?
Okay,
so Heidel, who was the gatekeeper guy?
Heimdall.
Right? Luther. Heimdall. Heimdall's daughter is now his son, right? And they made this massive point of that because she used to be called Alexa and she was going to call me Axel. And there was this huge thing about that because, you know, we can't just do it. And Korg is now gay.
Okay.
What's her face? The king, who is not a king, she's a queen because she's female, is a lesbo.
You mean the one who's been banging Taika Waititi?
Yeah, gay.
I'm not saying she got that role because she wasn't. I'm just saying
everything's gay, and I mean the whole thing of making Heimdall's thing, and they really, it was like, you know, it was such a virtue signal. Anyway, don't bother with it. Watch it on Disney Plus. It's
that's the thing actually, because Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness came out so early on Disney Plus. Part of me is like, kind of, just wait a month.
I tend to. I've got Disney Plus for a reason.
Yeah, but Gareth's got, like when I was living in the UK, he's got one of these lovely little unlimited cinema tickets, which is kind of awesome. And if I had that, I probably would have seen it. But it's not good. It is another Marvel movie that's not. The only thing that I will give them is that, you know how you get the end scenes, right? Who's the footballer in what's the American thing that you and I like on Apple TV? What's it called? My brain is just
Ted Lasso.
Yeah. Who's the footballer that then becomes, like, you know, deputy manager? What's his face? The one that always swears.
Roy Kent. I can't remember the actor.
Roy Kent, the actor who plays Roy Kent, has been cast as Hercules, and that is kind of genius casting. So yeah, he's Hercules, and that is no fucking word of a lie. He is Hercules, son of Zeus, and you've got like
the guy who plays Preacher.
No.
Should be.
Yeah.
Not Preacher. Preacher, sorry.
Yeah. So you've got him as Hercules, and they had Russell Crowe doing the worst Italian accent, like the really stereotypical, almost borderline
Greek,
racist. Well, it's okay, Greek. It was that bad. It sounded Italian to me, but it was one of those sort of really dodgy fucking accents. And you had Russell Crowe doing that as Zeus in it, and that was. It was funny, but not in the way they intended it to be.
Oh dear.
Anyway, that was my review. Everything's gay. That was
It's one of those things.
Well,
I heard that it was like a 7-year-old was telling a story with action figures. That's the way the storytelling was described.
it is.
This-
Korg is telling the story. Who you know? So Taika Waititi or whatever his name is, as Korg is telling the story, and it's really. Whereas the humor kind of worked in the last.
Oh, he's derped. Is it me or is it him?
that's definitely Keith.
It's really good, clean derp face though. Oh no, it's going.
Oh, that's a shame. He's back.
Oh, he's back. He's got poor quality. I put. You notice I put the quality indicators on there so we can work out if it's our connection or browser.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Gareth. It's childish, but anyway, I just wanted to mention it because
I think in the grand scheme, the problem with it is I don't think it's bad. This is what the impression I've got from a lot of people. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good either. And if it's bad, it's sometimes worth watching something that's really shit because it's quite entertaining when it's shit. Because you can either get angry over it or you can start picking it apart or something. But if it's that middling thing, I've been told that a lot of humor doesn't hit. That's okay. That's fine. That's probably what it is. It's probably the humor's not hitting.
I felt the same when I watched Multiverse of Madness. It was very average, you know, not on a par with the rest of the Marvel films.
I don't think. I think anything, with the exception of the Spider-Man movies, nothing since Infinity Wars, and that is including Endgame for me, has been any good. I think after Infinity Wars, it just went to shit and it hasn't recovered. And you know, the Spider-Man movies, because Sony is involved, you can't really include them. Okay, Spider-Man 3, fucking still up there for me, but all of the others have been. I mean, Lem and I kind of enjoyed Shang-Chi. Let's not go there because I know why you don't. Only because I liked the dragon. But I didn't like much else. But no. So I'm done with
Marvel is dying. That's all I can say. It's dying. I think.
Yeah.
I think if it's weird when you look at the Sony stuff and you go, "Oh, that's all right." Well, you look at the Marvel stuff and you go, "No, it's crap." You've got this. It's disposable fluff from the Sony side. Yeah, I could leave it, but okay, all right. So I might go and see Thor. I'll check to see what my evening's looking like. Yes.
Yeah.
So
well, for me, I'll watch it when it comes to Disney Plus. I'm not spending extra on it, and no doubt it will come to Disney Plus at some point. I'm not just busting the gut to go out and see it. I'm not that bothered. I did the same with Multiverse of Madness. I'm glad I did because it was very average.
45 days. 45 days when it first went in the cinema before it comes onto streaming. I think that's their rules that they've got.
Well,
they've got 45 days and then they pop it onto streaming.
On another note,
I can wait.
Yeah, it's worth waiting. Yeah, definitely. It's
all right.
It is not worth the 16 quid for a ticket. I saw Jurassic Park.
Did you? What did you think of Jurassic Park?
It was very. It was nostalgic with the original guys coming in and doing their thing, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing either. So it was very middle of a road.
It was. I describe it as. Would you describe it as like a disposable film? Like a Bic razor or a biro or something, you know, you use it and then you're done with it and don't really care after that.
It's done a job, and now the job's done. To be honest, it was decent enough for what it was, but you had the typical person there with the polo neck shirt, you know, the owner of that biotech or whatever they're called.
Yes.
The typical person that they're using at the moment as the bad guy, who has zero social skills, and he got his comeuppance, didn't he, in the tunnels, which was quite nice.
Yeah, funny because that's how Dennis Nedry got killed. Helping
exactly, and the guy. I mean, just so for you probably didn't pick up on it, but that guy you're talking about was called Lewis Dodgson, and Lewis Dodgson was the guy that handed Dennis Nedry the shaving foam can in the original movie. So they both got killed by the same dinosaur.
Keith, I'll be honest with you, there's a reference that no one really cares about. No one cared about Dodson at all. Dodson
Which one was
a joke
Dodson?
there for Nedry. Dodson was like, where Nedry sitting there goes, we've got Dodson here. Everybody, we've got Dodson here. That was it.
Which one was Dodson? Was he the guy who was trying to
Polonex,
steal
tech person?
Oh, okay.
He was
In
the
the
one in
first
charge,
film?
the one who looked like Tim Cook, but
Give me
with the
2
morals
seconds.
of Bill Gates. He's just going to go and shit himself.
I think someone's singing outside the door, like against it, just to annoy him.
Yeah, no, Alexa just suddenly kind of enabled itself.
Oh, right. Next.
Oh, it must have heard
you.
you. It heard him. He did say that word.
See, that's an interesting thing. Bill was saying that, Taika Waititi's done this. So he had like a jolly and then took a crap, so he won't come back.
Or shitting on a bed.
I'll be honest with you, a lot of directors are very pissed off with Marvel. Even Deborah Chow, or whatever her name was, from
Shang-Chi.
Eternals.
Oh, Eternals, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
Deborah
one of the
Chow,
worst
whatever.
rated. I believe the Eternals is the worst rated Marvel movie of all time, actually. As in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, these movies. Yeah, it was crap.
Yeah, well, I watched that on Disney Plus. It was rubbish. I forced myself to sit through it.
Boring.
Nothing happened.
Boring and dry and dull.
It was a film about something, but nothing actually happened in the entire film. That's how I felt after the film.
But Thor.
I'm
is
not.
very
I'm
much
not.
like
Yeah.
that. You see, I mean, the thing about the early Marvel movies is you knew they were building to something, and even the individual movies, you knew that they were building. They were building a universe. They were building something. Each story that told had meaning. It had an effect on the overall cinematic universe. Everything had a reason, kind of thing. Whereas these movies since really Endgame, because that stupid 5-year time jump, which they've never really dealt with, it hasn't had that. It hasn't had that. Each movie is forgettable. And they just. I'm sorry. I'm done with Marvel movies at the moment, with the exception of probably Spider-Man, because they don't. Whereas I used to get really excited by Marvel movies, I don't. They're rubbish. They are rubbish.
TV series 2 have also caused you to go, because the TV series have been middling. You've had bits, but flashes of genius, and that's it.
Has it?
And it's surrounded by seas of poo.
I didn't. I gave One Division a go. It just got worse and worse as it went on. I gave Loki a go. That got worse and worse. I gave Falcon rubbish all the way from the start.
I think with One Division, it actually built up to the bit where they had Quicksilver, and then they took that away. Because if they'd left him there and we'd have gone, hang on a second, the X-Men can exist in this universe as we knew the X-Men, that would have made us all go, oh, excellent, yeah. And then they took it away and made him something Boner.
I suppose
his name was.
That sort of does let me lead into the film I watched, Multiverse of Madness, where we did have the X-Men, didn't we?
You had your Professor X. You didn't have the X-Men.
Professor X was in there. And Fantastic Four fella.
Yeah, you had Richard Reeves, the world's most clever man that happened to be an absolute stupid person in this.
Yeah. I like the actor, but I always thought Richard Reed was meant to be really clever, really smart, incredibly switched on, and yet the way he was talking was like he was as thick as everyone else.
But that was the way it was written more than I think the actor, because John Krasinski, is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
He is very capable of playing Richard Reed. I mean, a lot of people, the internet have wanted him for that, and they want his real-time Mrs. The English actress person, to play Susanna Storm. So
Susanna Storm.
Sorry, Susan Storm. My brain's scrambled at the moment. But you know what I mean.
Do you know the one way they could have recovered the thing with the Illuminati? Yeah, is all they had to do is after she left, you have Doc Doom walk out and go, well, I guess I have to make some more of them, aren't I? And just leave it at that. Because you would have gone, hang on a second, these are like Doctor Doom's clones or whatever. You'd have gone, and then you've introduced Doctor Doom at the same time too. And it's like, yeah, oh, dude, no, Marvel gives it just makes me go, really?
Well, that's why
Please
I
stop.
completely skipped the fella with the arrows because he's the series with him. Forgotten his name. He's so insignificant.
They got the casting right in that one. Apart
Well,
from Echo.
I have
Not you, Echo.
I have to admit that until yours is doing it now. Until what's his face, the last one, the Egyptian one came out, I kind of enjoyed Hawkeye, but that is partly because, as Gareth said, they got the casting right.
Oh, that's his name.
I wish they'd got the scripting right. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
I decided not to.
If they got the scripting right,
I'm not even going to watch it, literally ever, unless I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel. I've been burnt by Loki, burnt by Wanda, burnt by Falcon. Not interested in the other guy.
Hawkeye was actually probably the best out of all of those. Nice.
Unfortunately, I found his character.
Yeah,
rubbish
but it's
in the film.
But that's the thing. Again, it's a bait and switch because it's actually more like a female Hawkeye, but because it's played by Hayley Steinfeld, who happens to be incredibly sort of
charismatic.
Yeah,
she is charismatic as an actress. Right. So this is what Disney do with Marvel and Star Wars at the moment. Yeah. You sell us on this one character, say Obi-Wan Kenobi, say Hawkeye, say Loki. Yeah, and then you get halfway through it, and it's not about them. It's about a woman who's better than they are.
Surprise woman.
And they just keep repeating it again and again and again. And someone should tell them it's not working. It's just not working. Just tell us the fucking story, and I've done with it.
This is the thing. You know, I mean, back in 2018, there was a research carried out that showed that Hollywood was overrepresented in sort of minorities or you know, like homosexuals or black people, that kind of thing.
It's been doing that.
It's gone even worse now. And I mean, everything has to have a gay character. Everything these days seems to want to have a transgender character. Yeah, I get it, but I get diversity. I'm not against it, but not in everything, and not for the point of doing it, if that makes sense. And
if you've not got something to do with that character, don't fucking write them.
Yeah, I mean,
if you haven't got something decent to work with. It's like, okay, so we look at Reva from Obi-Wan. Yeah, she miraculously knew all this shit that she shouldn't know. And then she didn't kill Luke Skywalker. So if you removed her from the story, what difference would it make?
Again, nothing. In fact, it would improve it, because that entire fight scene with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, right, would have been so much better if they didn't keep cutting away from it to Reva trying to kill Luke Skywalker, who we know, surprise, doesn't fucking die, right? So there was no sense of danger there, because it's like, okay, he's going to get away at some point, because been in a few movies since this was taking place. It was rubbish, and it's lazy, and it is creatively bankrupt.
Do you know, it's just annoying because they keep pulling the same shit. They did it with Halo too.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't.
Yeah. They forgot.
You're right.
Halo's got so much stuff you could, like Star Wars has. Yeah. It's got incredibly detailed backstory and all this canon, and all you have to do is selectively pick out the good ones and remove the shit ones. Yeah. So it's like Knights of the Old Republic, the Thrawn trilogy, all those things. You say, right, the previous stuff is what we call legacy, and we'll pick out the bits that we think are worthy of being in the universe. They don't even have to be creative. They can just follow someone else's already successful recipe. That's the bit that gets me. This would be a piece of piss for me. I'd be trying to work. My biggest problem would be working out the order. Well, how do we release this so we get maximum bang for our buck?
You buy Star Wars at the point when it's still immensely popular. How do you fuck that up? But they did. How do you just not go, right, find somebody, write a treatment for 3 movies, get 3 directors to come in and write them? How do you fuck that up? I mean, I do not understand these people. But anyway, I think we should talk about something that we're going to be sitting and moaning about this for the next 10 years.
Let's talk about Stranger Things.
Yes.
Let's talk about Stranger Things. Nige, you haven't watched it, have you?
Not since the end of the first season, no.
Really good TV. Really good TV. It's rare that a TV show rebuilds itself back up. Yeah, because 2 was pretty much retreading the story of 1, and 3 kind of went off in a weird angle. I enjoyed 3, but if I compare it to 1, it wasn't as good as 1. Yeah, and then 4 somehow manages to get you all reinvested and all kind of excited for everything going on. So apparently they were editing up until the hour before it went on Netflix. So they were making changes to the thing. So I was like, wow, that's the Duffer Brothers going, I'm not too sure, Dave. But I think it paid off. I think there was a couple of dumb bits in it. But because I enjoyed it more because the characters, like Luca's character had something to do, properly had something to do. This thing is, I think, this is what Duncan. Yeah, series 1 is a perfect bit of TV. That first series is a perfect bit of TV.
I agree that, but you can say that about almost every movie that's had a sequel. I think there is very rarely where there are exceptions to that. I was about to say that. I was about to say Aliens, some people will argue is a better movie, and I get it. It's funny Duncan should have said that, because that was the one that was in my head to mention, where the second one could be arguably better than the first one. You could say the same about Terminator as well, but it's rare. And
it's James Cameron.
Exactly. Season 4 of Stranger Things I have enjoyed far more than the 2 previous sequel series, and I actually found this more emotional. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking had a tear when Dustin's mate died. I found that really quite far more than a fucking gave a shit about Max.
I'll be honest with you, mate. I'll be honest. Yeah, I did. I gave more shit about him dying than I did Max. I got annoyed because they didn't actually properly kill Max off.
No,
they should have killed her off.
Although
perfect exit point for her.
I think they're planning on a twist there, because the fact that when 11 tries to go back and find her, can't find her, I think that's something that's coming. Interestingly, you've heard the news that they've announced like a spin-off and a fucking stage show, which I'm not entirely sure what the hell that's all about. But they've announced a spin-off, which is not going to be anything like what this is. So I think it's going to be set in modern times. But anyway, we'll see. Because part of the thing of Stranger Things is the fact of when it's set. And so I don't know. But I was not I thought we were going to get more than 2 episodes, right? It's like, why the fuck have we waited a month for 2 fucking episodes? I thought that, like, you know, okay, it's a way of building it up, but really 2 episodes? Can you just split the season and
right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
yeah.
So let's go to the Eddie Munson. The Eddie Munson character is my favorite character of this season.
Oh,
him and Steve are my favorite characters, full stop. Because Steve is the one who he turns up to save the fucking children every time. That's literally what he does. It's like, kind of, no, you get behind me. And he's ever since the first fight he had with the Demogorgon in season 1, where he turns up and they're literally the 2 of them in the shit, and he fucking smashes it back into the trap, hits it in the trap, and he goes, set it on fire, and that's beautiful. But Eddie was great because he seemed to come through it, and I'm worried that they'll bring him back. I don't want them to bring Eddie back. If he comes back, he needs to come back as Dustin hits his head and is either like slowly dying or something, and it's like a hallucination. Only acceptable way. Anything outside that, I don't want him coming back. I don't want him coming back as a bad guy or some zombie Eddie.
I've heard a rumor that they're going to feature him in season 5, but I suspect it will be a flashback. But Eddie, I mean, as Duncan has said, Eddie had a complete arc. But I mean, oh come on, what a way to go out! I mean, Eddie fucking sitting there on top of a fucking trash trailer, fucking rocking his fucking ass off with a guitar, right? To get like these fucking demigod fucking bats to come and get him. That was awesome. That fucking thing the minute he picks up the axe and starts fucking playing that fucking music. That was Guns N' Roses, right? I think, wasn't it? Or was it? No, it was
Metallica Master of Puppets.
Metallica Master, yeah, that was it.
Duncan actually called it. He turned around and said he's going to be playing Master of Puppets. He told me, he's like, he's going to be playing Master of Puppets.
Epic.
Like, yeah.
Epic. And I loved that. I loved that whole scene and the way he went out. And yeah, it made me, it brought a tear to my eye, but genuinely, I loved Eddie. I mean, Eddie and Dustin are up there. And it didn't replace Steve and Dustin for me, but it was on the ball there. I loved it. I loved, if you're going to go out, what a way to fucking
right.
Eddie is a fucking hero, and that's how it should have ended. And I love that because you saw glimpses of Eddie being a nice guy when he was selling the weed to the sort of cheerleader girl at the beginning, and you thought, hang on, this guy's a good dude, and he was a good dude, and I liked it. Sad, but brilliant.
The local drug dealer's a good dude.
Weed dealer.
Yeah, it was good. I think I liked his character. He was a good guy. He wasn't a hero. I'm a little annoyed on the way he went out. Because if you check, what he did is he got on his bike, rode away from those demobats, and then went around in a big circle and came back so Dustin could see him die. That made him look a bit stupid in my eyes. I'm like, hang on a moment. That was that bit kind of got me because I know they needed to do it there for the emotional things, but if you'd have got to the Watergate or something. And tried to go through that and then got killed while he was trying to do it. Something or other, yeah? But it's, yeah. The other thing, too, I like is the fact that when he's up there and he's playing, and they're playing the actual track, and if you ever have mates who are metalers and they play guitar and stuff, they don't hear what they're playing. Most of the time they don't hear what they're playing. They're imagining that they're playing that, which I thought was quite good. Dustin was good. I like Dustin in it. Dustin's great. He's kind of Mr. Exposition. This is what we do. This is how we solve things. Blah, blah, blah. No one listens to me. Love that about Dustin. I want them to kill Mike off, and I want them to kill 11 off because I can't fucking stand them.
Oh, you've had enough of 11.
This is like, that's all she does. I'm going to shit my pants. Because the other thing, too, is... all right, I've got a theory about Steve, but the other thing, too, is when it comes to 11, it's literally, they're just... 11 will beat him. I think Steve even makes a joke. Oh, we had a girl who had superpowers. She saved us. Yeah. I appreciate the fact that they went into Vecna's house and they fucking set him on fire and then they shotgunned him. Yeah, and that's great because I watched that and that's a reference to Terminator 2 at the end where she's trying to shotgun him the T-1000 that is into the metal pit with flames and shit. That was good. I think Vecna's body is dead. I think they killed his body. I think he's alive, but I think his body is dead. I don't think he's coming back as he's going to come back all healed or whatever. I think he'll come back in some kind of different form or something because I think his body died. And because he's connected to the Mind Flayer and all the other bits, he can, do it. Become like Duncan's put it down as like shadow, some kind of shadow creature, yeah. So we've got that when it comes to Vecna. The guy who plays him, absolutely brilliant. Both of my brothers reckon he should play the Joker because he'd do a good job as a Joker in Batman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see it and I agree. I think they showed me some bits where they the Duffer Brothers looked like they lifted some panels from a comic with the Joker in. And the way he's dressed and everything, he didn't have the makeup and stuff like that. Having a bad guy that you can have a conversation with, yeah, it's like with Doctor Who and the Daleks. Yeah, you can't really have a conversation with the Dalek. Yeah, they're just going to yell at you, exterminate, and resistance is futile. Yeah, That's why you got Davros, so you can have a conversation with a Dalek, and it's the same here. You can't have a conversation with a Demogorgon. You can't have a conversation with a Mind Flayer. Did like the fact that the Mind Flayer seemed a bit eldritch, if you know what I mean. H.P. Lovecraft.
Yep.
It's been around for millions of years, sort of thing. I'd like that, and I like the fact that you probably couldn't communicate with it, so you couldn't quite get what it wanted. But having someone to actually fucking hate helps too. The Murray. I like Murray and his flamethrower. Saved the day in the Russian prison. That was great. I love that where he's just like kind of.
I've enjoyed Murray this season far more. I think he's been a really, really kind of comic relief character, but in a good way.
Because in the previous seasons, he's supposed to be an arsehole journalist. That's all his job is to be. He's supposed to be an arsehole journalist. He's supposed to be an antagonist for Hopper. But this season, he worked out as like a hero and stuff. It's weird. You go.
I agree with you about Mike. I don't mind 11 as much, although I find the way she talks hasn't really developed. And the thing is, like, the actress she's okay actually. The actress behind her, but just the way she talks is the same. So I find that annoying. But the one thing I will say, that you were talking about Murray saving the day, I did enjoy Hopper cutting off the head with the sword. And I said to you, the only way that scene could have been cooler, right, is if the sword was on fire. If it somehow managed to get some fucking petrol, pour it on the sword, and set the fucking sword alight, that would have been better.
Right, just a quick one. Do you know that sword is from Conan?
No,
that's Conan's sword. So
that's cool.
that was a Easter egg for Conan. So it's like, oh, it's all right. Because the other thing too is my brother's put this in here too, is if one could control the darkness, whatever it is, and turn it into the Mind Flayer, then, as Duncan's put, could 11 control the Mind Flayer too?
In theory.
Because if he can do it, then she should be able to do it too. So we've got that, and then he's got what I've got. All she does is he holds her hand out and screams.
You say that, Duncan, but I think you're onto something, because at one point, when she escapes, when he's got her all in the binds, she controls the binds. She commands the binds to let her go. So yes,
that's in that's not in the Upside Down. That's in his mind palace.
Well, yes, and well, no, he's in the Upside Down. Is that his mind palace, or is that the Upside Down?
That's his mind palace. The red, the Upside Down is blue. His mindscape is red. Yeah, because
okay, fair enough.
They established that with Billy, and then the psychic plane is like black. So you've got all of these bits here. The Hopper thing I liked. I felt was all right. The Mike and what's his name? Poor Will, the actor who plays Will. He all the kids in the series completely sold me on everything. There is not one point where I went, that's shit. They all sold me on everything all the time. Even though I got annoyed by Mike, I never didn't believe that he was a character inside this fictional world. And bit with Dustin, he fucking sold Eddie's death, and then you've got Lucas who sold Max's death, and then you got kind of 11 with all just going through all the crap with Brenner and with Vecna. The kids are good actors. That's a big up. If you don't like them, they can sell you something, which I greatly appreciate. There are problems with the story, but I enjoyed it, which is the most important thing.
At least I think the good thing is season 5 is just going to go straight into it. There's going to be no fucking build up. The Upside Down. Vecna is trying to overtake Hawkins in the real world. Hawkins. And I like the fact that season 5 is just going to be balls to the wall action, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to season 5, I have to admit. And I think we're going to get season 5 relatively quickly. But I don't know. I've always found Will irritating. I found his fucking haircut irritating up until this one. In this one,
his haircut is just. His haircut is. is a product of his character. It's the old pudding basin haircut that they used to do. Just put a pudding basin around someone's head and just go click, 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 click.
And okay, I have to ask you, right? And this
sorry,
could be
hang on a
because
second. Before you carry on, no, I don't want her anywhere near the series. That was the worst thing in season 2. Sorry,
they won't do that. They won't do that. That episode is the worst rated episode, like, period. I got a question for you, right? This could be me because I'm so jaded by Hollywood at the moment. What does Will's gayness bring to the story, other than, to me being a bit of a virtue signal? Because Will was never intended to be gay. It was only in like season 3, really, where you thought, okay, now they're going to make him gay.
It's funny because I've seen an outtake where he says, no, we're supposed to say, and no stupid girls, yeah. And he turns around and he goes, and girls, like that, and it's like, oh, got the line wrong. I don't know. I think that he needs to have something a bit more. He needs to. It would be great if he had psychic powers, like 11, not as strong, but some psychic powers. Because he would turn around and he goes, "Oh my god, he's got powers too." Yeah, that would be cool. Because he's been in the Upside Down and been part of all this stuff. Even if he had like the ability, just like kind of, he could see across something. Give the kid can act. Give him something. Gay's not a fucking story.
Yeah, to me, the whole gayness thing it doesn't bring anything to the story. It feels like a virtual signal. It feels like a virtual signal. That's my only real criticism of it.
See, the funny thing is that it works, him being gay and having worried about coming out in the 80s more than it does, say, like now. If you did it now, it doesn't mean a fucking thing. Back in the 80s, it meant something, yeah?
But
so if you're going to do that, then it kind of works.
But does it do anything? Does it give anything to the story? Does it develop anything? Or is it just modern sensibilities again of we have to have a gay character? Because everything has to have it now. And that's my only real thing of it. Again, Will's superpowers are rainbows and candy canes. Well, Will does sense Vecna. Will can sense Vecna. You see the fucking goosebumps, and they even do that at the very end of season 4 to indicate that he's alive. So in some respect, Will does have a power in the fact that he's inherited or developed some kind of power from his time in the Upside Down. So he does, but it's just look. This could be me being jaded by the fact that everything I watch seems to be oh so gay now, and I just now it just takes me out the story.
Yeah. It's before you wouldn't notice it and it'd be fine, but now because they've made it so bloody political, you notice it fucking everywhere, and it's like this is taking the piss. Yeah, it's overrepresentation. That's what your issue is. I get you. I'm with you on the overrepresentation. Before I wouldn't give a shit as long as they were decent, but before they would write decent people.
Here's the thing, right? Because the transgender-esque story from the Orville the week before, that was brilliant. That character, right, was built from that, and it brought something to the story. The story was centralized around being born as a female, converted to a man because of the thing, and wanted to come back to a female. It was a transgender story, but it was well written, it was well done, and it was the point of the fucking story, right? I was never once going, oh, this is Hollywood fucking wokeness again, right? Never in that whole episode, because it worked. That was the story. In this, I'm like, why is he gay? What does it bring to the character? Why is he suddenly gay? He was they never really hinted it until season 3 when this thing was really popular all of a sudden in thing, because season 1 and 2 were written predominantly before all this shit started. So, that I suppose is, you're right, it's overrepresentation, but
and Keith has broken the internet. Oh man. Hang on a second, so I can get that.
As he looks,
I missed my chance to get that. I missed the chance to get that as a screenshot. He's lost his audio now. He's chatting away. And there you go. Now we can hear you.
It must be my upstream because my downstream is fine.
Your quality's dropping off. The little indicator indicates your quality's not quite there.
Yeah, I can see it. Sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry.
Anywho, Anyway, yeah, that was my. But I loved. Apart from that, loved season 4. Enjoyed it immensely.
Okay. Yeah, I did too. It was well worth it. All the characters did something of interest. Even Lucas got a decent storyline this season. I
Yes.
hope they do the same thing for Will next.
Oh,
season.
I'm so fuck it. Lucas punching the shit out of that moron jock. Fucking go.
Oh no! Hang on a second. No. Right. So my theory was that Vecna was going to jump into Jason. Something was going to happen, and he was going to escape into Jason. That's what I thought they were setting him up for, because he kind of felt similar to him, but he wasn't. He wasn't a bad guy. You think he's a bad guy, but you need to if you just flip it from his perspective, yeah, because he doesn't know anything about the Upside Down or anything like that. It looks like they're killing people,
but he
somehow
was your stereotypical moronic jock that goes and gets a gun and starts shooting shit. Because I mean, I know what that was having a go at, but again, it didn't. I'm sorry, Lucas just decking him was brilliant. after him beating, Lucas getting up and decking him, especially when you see Lucas's story of always being the scared one, and Lucas just kicks the shit out of him. It's like, go on, my son. So I kind of enjoyed that, because Lucas has annoyed me, but Lucas has always been a bit of a dick. I'm sorry, if you actually watch his arcs, he's always a bit of a dick, right? And even at the beginning of this, he's a bit of a dick. He wants to be with the popular kids, and it's only towards like the middle of this season that he discovers that, oh, I'm being a bit of a dick, and really these guys are my real friends, and I shouldn't be such a dick to them. And then he becomes like actually an all right guy, and then he gets his like kind of moment when he decks the shit out of him, and that worked for me. That worked for me. Now I like Lucas. No longer a dick.
All right, let's move on to the boys. Did you watch the boys last episode?
I did.
I have seen it.
So, you've seen it too.
Awesome. Shut the fucking front door. What did you say?
So hang on a second. Hang on a second.
I kept it quiet because I wanted to see
This is a momentous occasion. Nigel.
Okay, so
Nigel
is
up with the zeitgeist.
Let's focus in on Nigel. Hang on a second. Now, let's do it like this, actually. Let's focus in on Nigel. Right, so I'm going to quiz you.
We're not worthy, Nigel. We're not worthy.
So you've seen it. So
ask me a question. I'll see if I can remember.
Okay, so
did you like it?
So you've used right. Did you like it? It's the first thing.
It was okay.
All right. No. That's Nigel's stock reply to everything.
No, it was all right.
It was all right.
It was. I felt that
I wanted more to happen to the big guy. I wanted more to happen to Homelander. It was interesting to see the party split up near the end, doing their fighting in the different rooms at Vought. But I wanted to see, like, because what I didn't understand from that is it looked like Soldier Boy was going to attack Homelander. But because the sun was there, they decided to attack Soldier Boy instead of just grabbing the boy and take him out of the room. The whole point, the whole season leading to that point.
Yeah,
whole
now,
season.
Right, so I've got the complete set of comic books I've had for a while. I've got them digital, Keith.
So have I. Actually, on the boys.
I've got them digital. I think I got my Humble Bundle like last year, which was quite good because they literally gave everything on this Humble Bundle for it.
That's good.
And I'm a little disappointed because it felt like it was going where I wanted it to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then Queen Maeve turned up, and it was just like, you've done nothing this season. You've been in 3 scenes and an escape, and then you're going to turn up and do the hero stuff. It doesn't seem. It's not like it was built up or anything. A-Train turning up and helping them would have made more sense. Yeah,
that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought A-Train was going to be coming in at the last minute. and
have a
getting
change
some
of fucking heart.
super speedy licks in on Homelander, because the way those two were, they were almost like this, Homelander and him. It was a very uneasy truce between Homelander and A-Train, and I thought because of the way he's done things, and A-Train would have found out about Noir. Noir was killed, by the way. The boys killed nobody. And
you know, we've told you. I've told you about the twist with Noir in the comics, haven't I? All right. So in the comics, Homelander, he rapes Billy Butcher's wife, and then he gets caught doing like cannibalistic things and whatnot. But it isn't Homelander. It's Black Noir. Because Black Noir was there to keep Homelander in check if he ever came out of check, because he's literally a carbon copy, a clone of him. And then at the end, because Black Noir was supposed to take out Homelander, and Homelander hadn't done anything, he decided, well, fuck it, I'll speed it up. If that's what I'm supposed to do, then I'll do it. But I'll speed things up to make sure they happen. And he was responsible for most of the horrible shit that Homelander did. The superhero fuck-ups that he did were his, but all the kind of stuff, the evil behind the scenes, eating babies sort of thing, was Black Noir. And they ruined that character because they went, oh, Black Noir, it's got to be a black guy, isn't he? Could have been a fucking Asian fella. Yeah? But no, they don't think like that in Hollywood because they're all secret racists and sexists and horrible people. So they missed a trick with that character. And then killing him off as quickly as they did also missed another trick with that character too. Yeah? And it's...
I mean, I think the first 6 episodes for me, I thought this has been really good. I mean, really enjoying it.
Oh,
last week's episode was like the season, not dud, but the season one where they slowed things down and then
you're expecting it to build up for the season finale. I'm flinging his words for him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in there. It's crapped out again. So, I agree, Keith. That's the one where they were just focusing on Noir sitting in an abandoned, whatever it was, calf or something, with the cartoon characters flicking around his head, right?
Yes.
I just thought that whole episode was shit because of that. I don't like it. I didn't like it at all. I could see what I think they're just trying to portray that Noir's conflicted about what's going on. The fact Soldier Boy's back, the fact he's... But then I think, wasn't there a conflict between Homelander and Noir before that, and that's why he sort of left?
No, he just Homelander told him that Soldier Boy was coming, so he then disappeared to get his shit together.
Just to come back and have a conversation with Homelander, for Homelander to just punch his innards out.
Yeah,
I mean, how could Noir not see that coming?
I know it doesn't. That's what doesn't make any sense.
He's been around since fucking 40s, the same as Soldier Boy.
Well, no, he's been around since the 80s. It wasn't. I don't know if it was the 40s, but it's definitely around since the 80s.
They showed a clip of.
Yeah, he was Black Noir was
and Noir
in the Vietnam War. Yeah,
I don't know if it was Vietnam. Oh, I didn't realize it was Vietnam, man. I thought it was the other one, the World War II.
No,
because they were talking about. They kept talking about storming Normandy, and Soldier Boy being like 2 weeks later, but then appeared like. Was saying, "Oh yeah, I was there. You know, I was with the lads," and so that's why I thought that was that one.
Yeah. The CIA chick who was in the jungle, so the one that was looking after Homelander's son, was in the jungle in Nam with them, and that's the scene where you see it.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's Nam. I didn't really put 2 and 2 together, to be honest. But...
I did like the fact that they actually touched on that fucking Frenchie is a genius.
Yeah.
Because Frenchie is a genius in the thing. I think he loses an arm at one point, if I remember correctly. But he's the kind of person who can whip up fucking nerve gas if you asked him to. Yeah, he is.
I liked his plan.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I like the way that they sort of recited his plan back to him, and he went, "Yeah, this is what I would do." It's like, so
you're just going to break into their lab, with all those armed guards and whip up some nerve gas for us. Yeah. Simple.
He got shot in the leg for his troubles,
Yeah,
but
did get shit.
the
Yeah.
nerve gas,
But
although it was made no difference in the fight.
I
Although
did
they
like
put it on Soldier Boy.
I thought you said
did
Voldemort
nothing.
then.
I
It did nothing.
I did like that scene though in the lab where she puts on the headphones before she fucking goes barreling.
Starts dancing to the music and then
Yeah.
obliterates these people.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
And then you get to the bit where Maeve and Soldier Boy fall out the window, and they both should have fucking died.
Yep.
Yeah, but somehow Maeve lost her powers and survived. So she would have lost her powers during the explosion, and then survived the fall.
And so Soldier Boy. I mean, it just felt like.
And Soldier Boy,
it was
nothing's
like
happened to him again.
It was a wet whimper towards the end. Do you know what I mean?
I know. And then it was the thing that got me was that it turned into the girls at the end too.
Yeah.
It was the girls taking out the thing. No, it should have been. What we should have got. We should have got Butcher versus fucking Homelander. Yeah, the two of them just hammering the shit out of each other across the building, breaking stuff left, right, and fucking center. That's all you had to. That's all you had to do, and you fucked it. Why?
I wasn't too bothered by that. I was surprised that Maeve could actually harm Homelander. I didn't think she was that strong, to be honest. It's never been shown at all in any of the previous episodes that she was that strong.
Really, that's an issue. Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one. That is a problem.
I didn't realize that at all because she's always been afraid of Homelander, as if she thought that she could not harm him. So suddenly, out of nowhere, although they showed a scene of her training a little bit with a sword, she didn't have a sword when she was fighting him in the last scene. Didn't have anything like that, but she was actually harming him. And the fact that he's impenetrable, and she picked up a pencil or a pen or something off a table and stabbed him with it, that wouldn't have penetrated him. That would have obliterated him. That would have
him through the ear. But you're
right.
right.
No, right. No, Nigel's right. He's fucking bulletproof. I just think of plastic straws.
Bulletproof, yeah. So even if it was a metal rod or whatever, that would have, with her force on his body, he's bulletproof. That wouldn't have penetrated. That would have just sort of bounced off his head, for example. That wouldn't have harmed him.
But the guy that was at the end, that was MM's daughter's stepdad, wasn't it? In the crowd.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh, that pissed me off.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking TDS bullshit there.
Yeah.
I don't. What do you mean?
Like, all right, so this is right. So there's a thing going around the internet that the boys is political, but it's only on one side. But because of the way it's written by Garth Ennis, it compares superheroes to celebrities. Yeah, so they may think that they're being clever when it comes to taking the piss out of these superheroes and whatnot. But all he's doing is he's just pointing at celebrity. The guy, because he's a clever writer, was pointing his fingers at celebrity culture. So whatever they think they're fucking doing is they're just pointing at shitty celebrity behavior. And then they had the thing with the bit at the end where Homelander kills a guy in front of everyone, and that's a fucking Trump reference, because they're like, kind of, Homelander's Donald Trump, and it's like, how is he Donald Trump? Seriously, he's got tiny little hands. Is he got tiny little hands?
Well, yeah, I think it's because didn't Trump? I don't want to.
Trump
talk about
said
him too much.
Once he
I
said
could shoot someone and they'd love me or something.
And they'd shoot someone in the middle of the street and get away with it because everyone loves me.
Yeah, and that's what Homelander did. Yeah, and the fact that they all started cheering after just because somebody threw something soft at his son. Yeah, it was a ridiculous thing to do anyway. Doesn't matter if it's Homelander's son or not. Why are you chucking shit at someone's son?
You don't throw anything at a kid, full stop. That's just bad.
Chuck it at Homelander, for God's sake. Don't chuck it at the boy. But in material, yeah. There were some fanatical people in the crowd, wasn't there? One woman stood out. She was fucking... That's
the bit that got me. That made me fucking cringe.
But it makes me... Well, they were building to that. because they showed the what's her face? Oh God, Starlight. She had recorded Homelander threatening and blah 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 before getting in the lift live, and they loved him for it. And you think, okay, so they've given you proof, and you love him. So what else can you get away with? Obviously, he can get away with murdering someone in broad daylight in front of 100 odd people for nothing. And they loved him for it. So the next season will be interesting because now he thinks he can get away with murder because he can. What else is he going to do?
He got deep to murder the guy, so
she could get in,
and then that's his way into the White House. Yeah, and that's if they do it right, because in the thingy, it's Homelander versus Billy Butcher, and then Black Noir reveals himself at that point, and then Homelander and Black Noir fight it out, yeah. And Billy Butcher just goes outside with a crowbar, and then what's left of Black Noir walks out, and he crowbars the top of his skull off and removes his brain and crushes it in front of him and goes for Becky, which is fantastic. It's fantastic for a couple of frames in a comic where you just got to go, fuck you. That's the ultimate fuck you.
So who takes whose brain out?
Butcher
Billy
takes out
Butcher
Black Noir.
removes Black Noir's brain with a crowbar.
But why Black Noir and not Homelander?
Because Black Noir killed Homelander. And
so
Black Noir was responsible for doing Becky.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. That's
so
the
he
comics,
got his revenge. That's the comics. I'll send you a PDF, mate. I'll send you a PDF and you can go through, have a read through it.
Yeah, it would seem that they've completely changed course on that.
Yes. They
Noir, actually, if I'm trying to recall what Noir has actually done in this entire season 1, 2, and 3, 4, whatever.
He did some clandestine missions, but that's about it.
There was a thing in the second series where I think he confronts Billy Butcher in a house.
Yeah,
and he talks to Stan Eggers. I think that was probably his coolest bit in the entire thing.
That's when we thought he was. That's when they were implying that they were following the comic book line, and he was a Homelander clone, and therefore could have ripped Butcher apart at only one point in time. I think they changed their minds in this season, but
I was hoping there was more to Black Noir. He looked like a really cool character because of the mystery and so forth. And I didn't know what his abilities were, even if they'd strayed from the comics. He looked like he could be very ninja-y and very handy with, the sword and combat. But nothing at all.
The overall thing of this is this series this season took off really well. It was a beautiful flight. It
got to hear
the landing.
Fell over.
It fucked the landing. And I mean, it went and truly ballsed it up, kind of put the fucking nose in the wrong way and pretty much fucked up everything. So
Herogasm really fucked it up.
Yeah. Well, no, Herogasm was a great episode. That next episode had moments, but wasn't really a good episode. I thought, okay, we're going to have a really good...
You are supposed to have a lull after a big episode.
Yeah.
I was hoping for more after Herogasm because of the end, the fight, and everything that happened in that. I was expecting next episode to be very juicy, and I think that's when we got the Black Noir sitting in a abandoned room with cartoon characters around his head. They literally dialed it right back to literally nothing, and it was very boring because of that. My excitement had dwindled because of that episode.
That's annoying. All right. Let's move on to let's talk about the Orville and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah. So this is probably the meanest episode of the Orville. Sorry,
can I just say I don't know how many episodes are there so far. I think I've watched about 4 or 5 of them.
What, the Orville?
Yeah. So the one I've just watched, they're trying to make a treaty with.
Okay. So you're 2 behind.
You're two behind.
Yeah, and they made a dramatic escape and all that malarkey,
See, that was
managed to get out.
that was their TDS episode, and that was fucking worked for me as a
I
piece of
liked it.
entertainment because it was entertaining. I was like, oh, fair enough. You can have your mental thing, but if it causes you to be this creative, I'll let it be.
I liked
Sorry,
it. I liked it. That's the last one I've seen. The first episode where the crew members, it was so boring. The first episode, I forced myself to watch it. I really didn't like the first episode of this season. Bored the heck out of me. I watched it, and it took me a number of days to come back to watch episode 2.
It wouldn't be
Did
your
you like episode 2, Nige? Sorry, hang on, Keith.
Yeah,
like
once I got
2?
to episode 2, it was much better.
Because it seems to be they're doing one kind of like big adventurous thing and then something personal, and then a big adventurous thing and then something personal, and then they seem to be doing that with the storytelling, which is acceptable.
It almost put me off the Orville altogether.
Look, I thought it was. I can see why you didn't like it. I thought it was a very good piece of writing, but I get why you didn't like it. That episode does come back into play in several places.
I
And
understand
it's important. It's important.
My issue with it is the Orville for me has always been light-hearted comedy in space, and it was none of those things apart from in space.
It's closer to Star Trek than it is to the first season.
Probably why I didn't like it.
Gordon getting his leg cut off, which was fucking hilarious. I have to admit that's the funniest thing in sci-fi, and I'm including Red Dwarf in that, having his leg cut off. He was joking with the android, and he put Mr. Potato Head bits on the android, and he said, "You got to get me with a practical joke." He goes, "All right, then." He wakes up and he's cut his fucking leg off. I love that. Well class, that one.
And
That's
what I like about it, and it's missing that.
It's missing it. This season it's not a parody. It is Star Trek. It's what Star Trek should be. It's what Strange New Worlds should be. This is. And it has. Look, there are still funny moments. They're real moments. What it does is it fills in the gaps. Whereas Star Trek was too rigid, this makes. Some would argue, Star Trek sometimes misses the humanity of it, or the real humanity. Whereas that's very much present in this, and it very much has that. There are very real human moments, not what we want to be, what we are. Even 300-400 years into the future, we're still going to have we're not going to be that perfect Star Trek humanity. This is more real version. The humans in Orville have got a better sense of humanity, but they're still human, and that's what this is doing, I think. But for me, season 4 has been season 3. This is season 4, 3. Has been brilliant because it's what we've been missing from Star Trek. And that Krill episode that you've just seen was brilliant. I mean, it was well written, well acted. It was very much at the time, but again, set in the future. It's what damn well Star Trek should be, because Star Trek has always done political episodes, but they've always been well written.
Clever.
You know my feelings on politics in anything. I won't even watch it in real life because I can't stand it. If it's in a program I like, it does turn me off a hell of a lot. Even its social politics and stuff. That's just probably why the first episode really got on my nerves. However, this episode with the Krill Treaty thing, I thought was interesting. I didn't mind it at all. I actually liked it, and I liked the escape. I liked the way they escaped. I understood the whole thing with the daughter, the halfling, maybe. I don't know what they call them. What they would call her, because she's a new race, isn't she? All by herself. Bless her.
Hybrid.
She's a hybrid between the Krill and the humans, and it just happens to be the new dictator's daughter, who has to be now for the rest of her life.
And that is very much coming back into it. That's not going to be the only episode we're going to get on that. I think the next episode is called The Word of Avis. So I'm assuming that the next episode is going to be about that. But I mean, let's not make that. Let's not bad. There have been political episodes here. You might not notice it, but there have. The next episode is a very political episode, but again, it's brilliantly done, and it's brilliantly written, and because the characters, it's not surprise woman that these characters have a beginning, a middle, and end. These characters have journeys. I've enjoyed it, and. I just
in that episode they did explain. Forget her name, but her ascension from where she was with I can't remember the captain's name, but Seth all the way to where she gets elected. They did explain it. They explained what's happening for her to get to that point. More of a puppet than anything, a political ideal that she's putting across that people are pushing. And I understood that she's gone from nothing, being captured by Union, blah, 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 released. He thought that it might, but her ideals were completely different to his. He thought it might help them for her to get into power because he knew her. Turns out he was dead wrong. She's not any different from the rest of them, actually, probably worse because of what she did. But there was an ascension there from the bottom all the way to the top, and it was explained. And what happened in the past has actually had a relevance to the future. They're not just one-shot episodes.
No,
there is a continuous
repercussions.
Yeah, there's a continuous timeline where something's happened before. And it's later.
That was one thing that Star Trek was renowned for doing until Deep Space Nine came along. Was just like it reset every time.
Without going,
security officer dies.
Without going into too heavy spoilers because you haven't seen the latest episode. One thing, this is probably the darkest episode, the one that's just been. The only thing is
the darkest. I think it's the meanest.
It's the meanest. But the thing is, the only thing I will say is, I love Seth MacFarlane, but taking him in a serious role is sometimes difficult. And this is probably his most serious when he has to do what he does in this episode. And at times that slightly takes me out because it's Seth MacFarlane. But Gareth, I need to ask you something sciencey here. What was the distance that they flew? Because I have thought they said that the planet that they fly to at the end, get back to where they're going. Again, not going into the... Did they not say it was 20 light years away and that they flew at 99.99% of light speed? Therefore, it would have taken them 20 fucking years and a couple of days to get to the point where they were going. They did it in like...
It was about 230 something light years.
Right. Okay. Whilst I liked the explanation of flying at nearly 99.9% of light speed has a relativistic speed and therefore an effect on time. And time therefore fucking passes slower when you're traveling at that speed than it does outside thing, which is all science and Einstein stuff. And I like the explanation of the bubble shit. Point is, you do not travel 230 light years when you're traveling at relativistic speeds in 3 minutes. It would have taken you 230 years.
No, fuck, Keith, you missed the point. Yeah. They needed to go into the future. Yes.
I got the point. But even so,
the journey for the ship outside their perspective took almost 400 years. Yeah?
Yes.
And then
but
from their
still
perspective,
flying.
Because they're close to the speed of light, it was about 30 seconds. So they traveled into the
even
future.
with relativistic speeds, you still experience the time it takes. If you're flying 13 light years away...
That's how relativity works, you butt nugget.
But isn't it... Hang on. Okay. You can correct me if I'm wrong here, right? But if you're traveling 13 light years away, right? You experience that 13 years.
230 light years away.
I'm just going on, right? Because I've read books where they're talking about relativistic speeds, right? Okay. You still experience that 13 years of time that it takes to travel, but outside it's even longer. Or is it the other way around?
No. Yeah. Time outside your system traveling at 1C or close to 1c, yeah,
Yeah.
which is the speed of light. That's the mathematical term we'll use, yeah.
So
When you travel, time here remains normal.
So it's a calculation of time. So when
But
something's
time for
230...
you, because you're approaching the speed of light,
Okay.
causes you to slow down.
See,
If you were
I'm
to-
asking you something. I get it now. I get it now.
Hang on,
Because
so-
what you're saying is...
I thought
if
it made perfect fucking sense.
No, it was dyslexic. So what you're saying is that when you do the calculation of 230 light years, it's the time experience not traveling at light. It's
Right,
normal
so
time.
the ship itself travels to that thingy and it takes them 239 light years, yeah? But because they're close to speed, their perception of time,
Of time is
relative,
different.
Therefore, it's 30 seconds.
Okay, all right.
It's
So
not 30
it did
seconds,
make
but-
sense. It did make sense, and therefore it was good science, yes?
It was really good science. Better than
Right,
Star
I'll
Trek
shut-
science. That's how good it
Yeah,
was.
that's what I'm saying. I thought it was, but I couldn't... Right, I get it. Right, I'll shut up now.
Which episode's that in? Because I'll need an
The latest
next one.
episode.
The next
the
one.
latest
You're
one.
like,
No.
the next one is I think it's
No,
it
he's
comes across
two
as-
behind.
as a
So
bit
he's two behind
Yeah.
because we have
Oh.
Mortis's son. The
Oh,
yeah, you won't
possibly
like the
two.
next one. You might want to skip the next one and go to the one after.
Oh,
I
I'll
did
watch
like
it
what
anyway.
they did
but-
with Isaac's voice though, because you noticed that they altered Isaac's voice so it sounded like it was coming from him as the android rather than coming from his mouth. So it looked a little dubbed at times, which was perfect for the disguise thing.
Yeah, it was done well.
Oh, is that in the next
it
episode?
was. Was it a mean
Well, no,
episode?
the latest.
No, you say it was a mean episode, but I actually think for the first time ever, a show's dealt with, okay, spoiler, time travel. I think this was actually made more sense the way they dealt with it. It was real. Again, it was real, Gareth. Whereas Star Trek, it's all, oh, we go back in time, we're not going to change anything. You go back in time, there's the whole grandfather paradox for start. They dealt with that in a way that was probably more realistic. And it was mean, but it was realistic.
Yeah, but you've also noticed when he got sent back in time, like 4 versions of him went back.
Yeah.
So there may be other versions of him out there somewhere where it might got further back in time.
As
or into
Nigel's
the future.
already pointed out, that things remain after the episode. It's not like a cartoon where it resets itself, that there's repercussions. So yeah, you're right. We could see another version of this down the line. We could, get the whole Tasha
He
Yar
appears
Romulan
with the
thing.
sandwich that he sent into the future.
Hmm.
Because he sent a sandwich into the future. Because why would he send a sandwich? It'd be a nice surprise.
Because the only time Star
Not
Trek
the sandwich
ever
instead.
really had a repercussion of an episode was the Yesterday's Enterprise, where Tasha Yar is sent back in time with the Enterprise C, has a daughter that turns out to be a really evil bitch Romulan. And that's how they brought the actress back in. And she comes back several times. So we could get the whole Tasha Yar's Romulan thing.
Yeah, but it was weird because
Star Trek,
it
get
was talking
off.
about relative states and stuff, Keith. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Talking about
understand it
relative
now.
sex.
I get it.
No,
now. I
we're
never
talking
thought
about
of it like that.
the temporal perspective, because when they picked him up a month later from his perspective, yeah, it wasn't an issue because he didn't experience any of the stuff.
Yeah.
They picked him up when they did do it.
But he has that
it was
talk at the end. It's done well. It is done well.
It is done well.
I mean,
on that
this is
note-
what Star Trek should be. Strange New Worlds, by the
Yes,
way.
you're right.
Can you do me a favor? Can you go and look at the actor that they cast as Kirk, who was rubbish, by the way? I mean, talk about... Do you think he doesn't look a bit like the original Captain Pike? Like, more so than he does... He definitely doesn't look like any Kirk. And he doesn't even play Kirk. I mean, at least Chris Pine kind of does his own version of Kirk, but, embodies Will Shatner. This guy was no one. Not Kirk. Not Jim Kirk. In any form or another. There was... but he looks like the original Pike, in my opinion.
He looks a lot fucking older than Kirk should be too.
Exactly.
Because Kirk was captain at 30 and his first ship was the fucking Enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but this is an alternate. Okay, spoiler. Alternate future. We get the amazingly named time crystals back again. What are we going to call these Klingon fucking Hogwarts crystals? Oh, the crystals that send you back in time. oh, what clever, really sci-fi Star Trek name could we come up with?
Can I guess?
Time crystals.
No, okay, I can't guess. Cheers, Key.
See, previous
Time
Star
crystal.
Trek, it would have been chronometric something.
Yes, yes,
Yeah?
yes.
Oh no,
yes,
no, sorry,
anything
sorry.
Cool.
Quantum chronometric something.
Because that
Something like
quantum
that.
makes it cooler, yeah.
Yeah, something
that's-
cool. Time crystals. That's it. That's an amazing name. God, fucking hell, how bad writing can you... Anyway, the only cool thing from that episode was that future Captain Pike, because it's a future Captain Pike, was wearing a slightly adapted version, because they can't just put them in the original uniforms, of the red sort of Star Trek movies uniform, which was kind of cool. Only moment, because time crystals.
Sorry, Keith. You paused when you said he was wearing. My head went. He was wearing drag.
Yeah, it would have been
That's
better.
the only thing that would make it interesting.
Do you know what's really annoying is I love Anson Mount as Captain Pike, and when he is being captain, like he was in that 4th episode, he is really, really fucking good. It's just let down by bad writing, and it's annoying. It's so frustrating because I don't like Picard, and I'm happy with not liking Picard because Patrick Stewart fucked it up, right? So I'm not angry. I just think it's shit. Discovery, again, think it's shit. Not angry about it. This makes me angry because I like Anson Mount. And if Seth MacFarlane was writing this, right, this would have been goddamn awesome.
It would have. I'll be honest with you. I would have gone to Seth MacFarlane after the first season of Orville. Goes, can you do that without jokes? But yeah, sure. Yeah, money. Star Trek license. You can actually have Star Trek. You can be the captain.
You know, because he went to them saying, "I'll do Star Trek for you," and they turned him down. Right. This is the whole reason the Orville exists. And now he's gone fuck. He's gone fuck the parody. I'm just going to do Star Trek, and he's doing it way better than Trek. And this is the Trek. Everyone is saying it. This is.
He's not the only person to do something similar. The guy who played John Shepard in Stargate Atlantis, yeah, he was trying to bring back Stargate Atlantis. He got funding. He secured the studios in Ireland because they're going to film in Ireland, yeah, and they turned him down. He goes, oh, I've got fucking finances, everything. I'll be executive producer on it.
Although there is now persistent rumors that Amazon are that they're in. Well, there is meant to be a new Stargate series which he is involved with.
I know that they've told what's his mush, the guy who directed the original Stargate film. What was it, Ronald Emmerich? Yeah, they told him to fuck off. They said, "Are we going down the TV route or are we going down the film route?" To which they went, "Ronald, you're doing the films, aren't you?" Yeah, fuck off.
Who was it? It was Declan or something, beginning with D. The guy that did SG-1. He's been in talks with a lot of people, but there's persistent rumor. He's got a script. He's got a premise. The actor that played Shepard is coming back, so, as is Rodney McKay. They're all meant to be involved in this new series, and it's going to be more like SG-1 Atlantis than it was going to be like Universe, because that's what made the series work. I know that there is mixed views about Universe. Universe was very good in many ways, but not when you follow something like Atlantis.
It wasn't in the same vein as the other Stargates. It was close to Battlestar Galactica than it was to the other Stargates.
And that, because you had Battlestar, you looked at Stargate for something slightly more light-hearted and fun, and it wasn't that, and that's why it didn't work. It's a shame, but it didn't. But Rodney McKay will always be one of the best characters in
I love Rodney McKay.
I love Rodney McKay.
He's just, it's like, right, if you're going to have a genius, if you're going to have a genius character, you have to say, right, well, he gets to be a genius, but he loses out on other things. Yeah, so he hasn't got the physical prowess of the other characters. Yeah. He hasn't got the social skills of the other characters, but he can you put him in front of a problem, he will solve that problem for you. Yeah, because that's the nature of the character. Yes, I enjoyed the crap out of Stargate Universe. It's annoying because when it got to the last episode of Stargate Universe, I know how the episode after was supposed to go, because Matey, who was left with the ship, I can't remember his name. I think it's the actor was called David Blue, but I can't remember the character's name. He
Eli.
Goes and looks. Eli, that's it. He goes to look to see if he can do something so he can go into stasis, and he finds 4 members of crew, and these are whatever they call the ancients,
Yeah, the ancients.
in cryostasis. And he wakes them up and he tells them what's gone on. And they tell him, goes, well, look, there's a spare pod here. We'll set it to go and we'll check. And then that's where it was going to start from. So the third series was going to start with the crew plus the ancients working together. And then they were then going to fall out of range of the stone things that they had. So they'd really, truly be on their own. Yeah, that was good. It was funny because the drone ships that were stopping them, it was... how can I put it? The writers called that was how the network was behaving towards them. It's just blocking them off at every fucking opportunity, so they couldn't get to do what they wanted, and they were just going to put the show on hold.
There is very, very much an active attempt at the moment to bring some kind of Stargate back, and there's the fans keep crying out for it, so I'm up for it if it's decent, but it's got to be done right. It is being done by the original people. It is supposedly been written by the original writers, so let's just hope.
Right, given today's sensibilities, just hold off. All right, just don't get your hopes up. I'm just saying, okay?
Stargate Universe. Is that the
one
where
any Stargate something new?
Is that the one where they went onto the ship? They escaped in the first episode onto the ship, and they went. That is the only Stargate I've ever seen. And I watched the entire season, and I've hoped for more.
It's annoying.
It's never come out.
You've missed.
Have you not watched Stargate Atlantis?
Nigel, you have to see
Stargate Atlantis was one of my favourite ones. Stargate Atlantis was my favourite, I think.
It's got Aquaman in it.
Aquaman before he was famous.
Yeah, he's in it.
Jason
Momoa, yeah, he's in it, and he's very good at it. Jason Momoa playing Jason Momoa, but I don't care because he is.
That was Jason Momoa before he was playing Jason Momoa in films, though.
Is that so? That's Jason Momoa without the beard and the long hair.
No, full beard.
No,
full beard.
Dreadlocks.
Beard. Jason Momoa. He's playing Jason Momoa as Jason Momoa before Jason Momoa was playing Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Oh, cool.
If that makes any sense. We're not saying that he's a one-bit actor, which he kind of is, but he's a really likable, charismatic one-bit actor.
He's like... he's just like Ryan Reynolds, isn't he? Ryan Reynolds plays himself in whatever film he's in, and that's fine by me.
In Aquaman, when he gets drunk, he goes, "My man," like that. He says that a lot in Atlantis.
That must be his thing. Cool.
It's
the one I like is the episode where because he plays a character called Ronan, and you have the evil aliens are called the Wraith, and the Wraith feed on humans. And sometimes what they do is they put tags into humans and they hunt them down for sport. And he was one of these humans that was getting hunted down for sport, and they managed and the Stargate team managed to catch up with him and remove the chip, so he couldn't be tracked. And anyway, sorry, just note something in the comments. Anyway, he what do you call it? He gets face to face with the one that caught him and chased him down for so long, yeah. And Rodney, who's the nerdy one, not Rodney, it's the Doctor. Sorry, it's who's the Doctor? Paul Gilliam.
Which one? The Scottish one or
Scottish Doctor? The Scottish Doctor.
Oh, I've forgotten his name. I've forgotten his name, but I loved him.
Anyway.
Yeah.
They get their little jumper thing, the little like craft they use from going from gate to gate.
Puddle jumper.
And he shoots him, puddle jumper, and he shoots him with one of the drones on the thing, killing him, yeah? And he turns around, and before all of this happens, he turns around and goes, "No one gets to kill this guy except me, or I'll kill you," like that. Anyway, it gets to the end. He was going to lose, yeah? And the Doctor turns around and goes, "Who shot him?" like that. And the Doctor went, "Me." And McKay's like pointing at him. Carson Beckett, thank you very much. And he puts his hand up and then gives him a big hug and says, "Thank you very much." And it's like, oh, it was one of those bits. It's really good. And the annoying thing is they were alluding to their version of the Borg in the last season of Atlantis when they did the thing with is it Daedalus? Not Daedalus. Yeah, it's Daedalus.
Yes.
And it was jumping through realities, and they were getting attacked by some cybernetic thing. So it's really good. You need to watch it.
Atlantis, but there's still hope to do it. Look, we'll see what happens. But the only hope that you have, whilst you say with modern sensibilities, is it's the original team. So let's see if they do
Yeah,
it.
but-
Let's see what they come up with. I know. I know.
Just on fire.
This is why it's called tempered hope rather than hope. The only thing the only reason that I have an inkling and a tiny little bit of hope is it's the original cast and the original writers and the original
creators. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
All right. That's a good place to end it because we nice positive note. Anyway, if you've managed to hang around this long, please give us a thumbs up or a like or whatever it is on the feed that you're watching it from. We appreciate you watching. Bill, thank you for Carson Beckett. That would have killed me all evening not knowing that. I'd have had to turn on Amazon Prime, find my copy of Bloody Stargate Atlantis, and go through the titles just to find the guy. Because I would have then watched 2 or 3 episodes after that. But thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Chuck, for watching. Duncan, I don't think you're watching anymore because you're probably getting drunk in the bar. But thank you for watching. He's
finished his espresso. He's gone with a beer.
He's finished his espresso. He's now chugging pints, shotgunning pints at the bar.
Is it a family holiday?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's him and his family. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he'll be drinking. Then, yeah, he's drinking at the bar then. Yeah, nothing else.
Definitely doing that.
Yes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It's bye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
It's bye from me.